What's happening, guys? It's Jeremy Blant with Remax Southern Shores, and today I want to discuss with you the 5 worst things about living in Myrtle Beach. Let's get into this list. All right, the first thing on our list that I want to discuss is one of my biggest gripes and one of my biggest complaints about living here, and that is the bugs, and in particularly mosquitoes. I don't know what it is, but mosquitoes seem to find me no matter where I'm at. They find me, I feel like they find me from 500 yards away and go, Jeremy's outside, let's all go have a meal. And they all come and bite me. And then for 2 to 3 days afterwards, I'm sitting there scratching and itchy from this. And these bugs just eat me up and it drives me absolutely bonkers. In addition though, we have all kinds of other different bugs that you will find in our area, some that freak people out just a little bit. Maybe you've seen one of the little water bugs, as they call them, or roaches, walk across your kitchen floor and you freak out. You know, they're about that length and size, and when you step on them, you get that really good crunch. Yeah, those kind of freak people out at times, and they unfortunately though are part of living down here in the South. Whenever you have that warm, humid air, it's going to attract those bugs. In addition, you're gonna have all kinds of other bugs. You know, I've talked about one that's really pesky and one that can be a real major damage to your house. You know, termites. I've done a whole video on it, you can check it out here. But termites can also be something that is very damaging to our area. You want to make sure that you have your house checked on a regular basis so that if there is termites eating in your flower bed or in your house, that it is caught right away. If not, it can cause some major damage to your home. I have a good friend who's an attorney of mine. Her brother had a house recently that got attacked by termites. It had $80,000 of damage to the home, all by just those little pesky termites. They love to eat wood, they love warm, moist spots, and they're gonna find it. And unfortunately, when you have a living in the house south, you're gonna have those things happen everywhere. So bugs, they're number 1 on my list of things that just drive me bonkers. All right, the second thing on the list that kind of just I can't stand about living down here is the summer weather and also the allergies. Right now, here we are in the middle of March, and well, it is allergy season through and through. I have to take a Zyrtec at night. I have to do Flonase in the morning just so that I can breathe and function through the day. We're in pollen season where you can wash your car today and within an hour, it's back yellow again from all of the pine pollen that falls. Allergies down here can be really intense. Now, if you have, like me, really bad allergies, and part of mine is caused from having my nose broken in the past, but if you have really bad allergies, you can treat it with, like I said, a Zyrtec, Flonase, Claritin, all of those things. Just get them, take it on a regular basis during this time of year, and you're gonna be okay. But once you get past this part of the season, you're back to beautiful times here at the beach. Great weather, great time to be outside, and you're gonna really enjoy living here. But during allergy season, which happens in the spring and also in the fall, just know you're gonna be going nuts and grabbing that bottle of medicine right away. The third biggest problem of living here at the beach is the coastal weather that we have and flooding that can go along with it. I've talked in the past many times about flooding and the issues that we have, and you've seen it probably all over the news that parts of our area here in Horry County have severe flooding. We also have hurricanes that can come through the area during parts of the year. Luckily, the last 2 to 3 years, it's been very calm and very quiet in our area where we've not really had any problems. But just a few years back, we had a roll where it came through year after year. We had Hurricane Matthew, a 1,000-year flood, and Hurricane Florence come basically 3 years in a row. Boom, one right after another, where it just caused major devastation in our area. This is why I tell people all the time, it is super important when you're thinking about buying a home here that you work with a licensed realtor who can help you through that process. One of the things we're going to do first and foremost on any resale property is we're going to check out the residential property disclosure. And in there are questions that ask, does the home live in a flood zone? Has there ever been any flooding in the home? Has there ever been a FEMA or Federal Emergency Act claim on that property. If any of those parts of that property disclosure are checked yes, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, this is not a good idea to have. And unfortunately, sometimes you fall in love with the property because you see it. It's a great price. It's a great value, you think. And hey, everything's brand new. Yeah, there's new flooring, there's new drywall, new paint, new appliances, new kitchen, new everything. And the reason that is well, the house had 6 to 8 feet of water in it during the last major storm. So when you're thinking about making the move here, that's something you definitely have to take into account. The other thing that you have to take into consideration is that during that time of the year, basically August through till about October, there is a possibility of severe weather coming through. Luckily, just like for most of you that live in the Northeast, you have snowstorms that come during the winter. Well, when one of those is coming through, your meteorologist knows these are coming. They know it's coming. 6 to 8 inches of snow is coming. There's going to be 2 to 3 inches of ice, and you have time to prepare for the blizzard. It's the same thing down here. We have our local meteorologist, Ed Pietrowski. Shout out to Ed. In Ed we trust. As I say all the time, he's the one you pay attention to when it comes to severe weather here in Horry County. He's gonna let you know that there's a storm on the way, that it could cause damage, it could come to our area, and what you should do to prepare. You're going to have several days ahead to go out and get your supplies, get your water, get your food, get whatever you need, propane tanks filled, whatever it may be. Get all that stuff, be prepared, and just hunker down during that time. Most of the time, what do we see here? Well, we end up having big hurricane parties. We end up eating all of our food in the first day and a half and have all the snacks consumed. And then we're just sitting around waiting for the storm to pass by. You know, luckily, being where I live, I'm west of the waterway, and I talk about this a lot too. When you get west of that waterway, you're gonna have a lot less damage from the major storms, and you're gonna have a great opportunity to have a property nearby. I'm 15 minutes over to the beach, but I'm far enough back in that any severe weather that might be coming through our area, it's going to be brought way down till it gets on the west side of the waterway where I live. The fourth biggest problem about living in Myrtle Beach is the job opportunities. Unfortunately, there are not a lot of big, high-paying jobs in our area. Most of the industry or factories or that kind of stuff, it's not here locally. So what is the main source of revenue in our area? Well, it's things that all revolve around tourism. So if you're someone who loves to work in restaurants or hotels, you're in good shape when you move here to the beach. Yes, the income is not going to be as high as some other parts of the country, but as I've shared in previous videos, in fact, even in last week I mentioned it, cost of living here is significantly less. If you're someone who's in a professional field, maybe you're a policeman, a firefighter, a nurse, a teacher, yes, your income here is going to be significantly less, but your cost for living here is also much less. So there's not a ton of big time, high paying jobs in our area to pick from. But if you're someone who's thinking about retiring, this is a perfect spot for that. If you're someone who can work remotely, you're going to absolutely love being here in Myrtle Beach. And if you're one of those people that's lucky to have a transfer from another company down here into the Myrtle Beach market, you are set because you can then get the best of both worlds. You can have your income from working up in the Northeast, but you get to have the ability of living here at the beach, not shoveling snow and enjoying the ocean on a regular basis. All right, and the fifth thing and final thing on our list today is the taxes. Now, no, I'm not talking about property taxes this time, but instead I'm talking about some of the other taxes that we have here. First one, and probably the biggest gripe that I have about this area, and people who I talk to on a regular basis have it as well, is you're going to pay taxes here on your vehicles. And depending on how many vehicles you have, you're paying much more. It's an annual tax that you're paying every year. So right now, my wife and I, we have 2 vehicles, so I'm having to pay 2 taxes every year on that. If we also owned a motorcycle, we would pay a vehicle tax on that. If we owned a boat, we'd be paying a tax every year on that. And so if you have, the Sunday joyride car that you enjoy, you have that convertible that you take out on Sunday afternoons for a fun ride, you can pay ridiculously high taxes. When we moved down here from Pennsylvania back in 1998, my father had at the time a brand new Mercedes SL convertible. The car was valued right around $100,000 back then. And well, the taxes on it just to keep the vehicle and drive once or twice a month were going to be astronomical. They were well over $2,000 a year, and my father said it's not worth it. Not to mention the auto insurance, which was another ridiculously high price. It just wasn't worth it to keep the Joyride car, and so we ended up selling it and doing something else with the money. So if you have a lot of those toys, motorcycles, four-wheelers, golf carts, boats, exotic cars, Joyride cars, classic cars, all that stuff, just know when you move here, you're gonna be paying a ton of taxes on that stuff each and every year. The other thing that I've had people complain about is that we have sales tax on a lot of things. And if you ask me, Jeremy, what is the sales tax rate in our area? I couldn't tell you. And the reason being is that it changes throughout all parts of the county. If you're inside city limits, it's one number. If you're outside city limits, it's a different number. If you're in the county, it's here. If you're up in the northern end, it's a different one. And everywhere it's different. But what I can tell you is this: you're going to pay taxes on just about everything down here. It's one of the ways that we're able to bring in the income needed to take care of our roads, take care of emergency personnel, and all the things that we need to function as a city on a regular basis. Where you do make up for that and where you save is that on your property taxes, then they're significantly less. The way our government thinks about it down here is this: let the tourists, let the people who are on vacation for a week pay a lot of the taxes and fees that we need to function on a regular basis and save you, the locals that are going to live here, a ton of money in the long run. So while you might have to pay it when you go out to dinner or on some groceries or things, just know you're still saving in the long run in comparison to other parts of the country. But anyway, guys, that's the 5 things that are probably the worst things about living in the Myrtle Beach area. I hope you enjoyed this video today. If you did, do me a favor, give it a thumbs up, get that bell on, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.